Welcome to Refreshing Delights. I'm your host, Michelle, and I'm here to share my exploration of non-alcoholic beverages or mocktails with you. Like many, I've chosen to eliminate alcohol in the pursuit of a healthier lifestyle, but appreciate they also provide options for those choosing not to drink, for designated drivers, or even expectant parents. Mocktails ensure that everyone at a party or social gathering can raise a glass and join in the celebration. Cocktails and mixology, the art or skill of mixing drinks, has increased in popularity over the past few years and become a part of our culture. Now, with the increase in popularity, numerous alcohol-free alternatives have become readily available. In each of these episodes, we'll explore different flavors achieved by the mixture or blending of ingredients, the techniques used in combining the ingredients, and the presentation of the mocktail through a variety of garnishes and glassware. So let's get started with one of our classic cocktails, the Old Fashioned. Traditionally, the Old Fashioned is made with a mixture of a spirit, sugar, water, and bitters. So let's get started. First, we need our tools. The first is a rock glass that we're going to blend our drink in. The second is a peeler. The third is a stir spoon. The fourth is a muddler. And the last is our jigger. Let's grab our ingredients. First, of course, we'll need some ice. Next, we've got our water and our bitters. Next, we've got our non-alcoholic bourbon. And finally, we've got sugar cubes, maraschino cherries, and an orange. So first, we're going to take our sugar cube, place it in the glass. Next, we're going to take our bitters and we're going to douse the sugar cube in bitters. Once we've done that, we're going to muddle it. You may want to add some water at some point to help with the muddling. Once you've muddled the mixture, you're going to add 1.5 ounces of bourbon. Once you get the bottle open. So my shot glass has 1.5 ounces at the top, so I'm going to pour the bourbon in there. Pour it into the glass. We're of course going to add an ice cube and stir the cocktail. What you want to do is help some of the sugar dissolve with the ice cube. Although you'll find with the Old Fashioned, once you drink it, the drink will get a little bit sweeter because the sugar sits on the bottom of the glass. So it gets sweeter as you drink it. The last is the garnish. The last thing we're going to do is garnish the cocktail. So we're going to take our orange and our peeler. We just want to peel off some of the rind. So we've got our orange peel. Now we're going to wipe the inside and the rim of the glass to absorb some of the oils. Once you've done that, place the rind in the cocktail. And then the last thing we're going to add is a cherry. And voila, you have your old fashioned. Enjoy. So the next classic cocktail we're gonna make is the gin and tonic, which is my go-to. So let's get the things that we need. We'll prepare it in the balloon glass. We of course will need some ice. We've got our tools, bottle opener, a stir spoon, and of course our jigger. We've got our garnish, which we're gonna use a cucumber. And of course, we've got the main ingredients, the gin and a tonic. First, I'm going to add some clear ice. You'll notice it's got a flower inside. These are edible flowers made in some clear ice. The next thing I'm going to do is add our gin. I'm going to use 1.5 ounces of gin. Then of course you can use any kind of tonic you want. I know there's some great flavored tonics out nowadays. I'm just using the traditional tonic. So we'll add that. Give it a stir. And voila. Again, if you want to add some garnish, I like to add cucumber to mine. So I've got my peeler and I've got my cucumber. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to peel it from the top to the bottom. And we'll just take one more piece. So once you've got through the skin, I actually like to get some of the flesh of the cucumber. So I'm going to take another peel. And I'm going to wind it through just for a little decoration. And spread the cucumber out. Like I said, it can either sit on the top, or if you'd prefer, you can put it right in the drink. And voila, gin and tonic. Enjoy. our last classic cocktail is the margarita. So let's get started. I oftentimes like to prepare my glass first, so that's what I'm gonna do. We've got some salt for the rim. We've got our glass. And we've got some lime to help us rim the glass. I like to cut my lime so when I cut my lime, I obviously cut it in half, and I will cut the inside of the lime so that when I cut the section in quarters, the line that I've cut in the middle allows me to run it along the rim of the glass. So it's got a slit in it. I take that and I run it all along the rim of the glass. Make sure that it's wet enough that it's gonna pick up some of the salt. Next, I'm gonna roll it in my salt. And there we go. Next, I'm gonna grab the ingredients to make our margarita. Of course, we always start with our ice. This time we're gonna shake our drink. We've got our non-alcoholic mezcal. You can use tequila or mezcal, whichever your preference is. Today I'm gonna use mezcal. And then of course we need our lime, our orange. Got my juicer, my jigger, my lime, and my orange. So first I'm gonna take my shaker. I'm gonna put a few cubes of ice. In the shaker. And I'm gonna take one big cube for my glass, and I'll just go ahead and tuck that in there right now. Next, I'm gonna get my lime ready. Take my juicer. And then squeeze it into the shaker. Make sure we get all of the lime out. And I'm going to use one full lime. Again, squeezing it into our shaker. Next, I'm going to juice my orange. Oftentimes you'll find that an orange liqueur is used in the traditional margarita. So I'm just replacing it with fresh orange. And we'll squeeze that in there. And the last thing I'm going to add to my shaker, of course, is the liqueur. I'm going to use 1.5 ounces of mezcal. And pour that in there. Put the lid on my shaker. I'm going to shake it up. Once you've got that, just pour it into the glass. If you really enjoy the taste of lime, you may want to use one of your other pieces, either to garnish on the side, or you could squeeze it in to the drink as well. And there you go with your classic margarita. And there we have our classic margarita.